Shark Dropper Studios presents to you
Dopple Avenue Hurt. Case 1. Case 1. The Silver Casket. Part 1. Something new.
City music, taxi cabs, what sound they make. One may complain about the noise, but one may not fully understand city life. Not a city like Brentwood Heights. Old fogies drive up here every summer to take in the cool night air and the luxuries of Dopple Avenue, a Broadway away from Broadway. Too bad the old fogies just take up space, and they can't drive worth a damn either.
Move it, old man!
And there's one now. He's trying to make a U-turn at a four-way stop. The city should outlaw those. The old fogies, not the four-way stops. Move them to Florida, get them out of our hair. Although if they left, who would the robbers rob? The older for the young, and if they left, I may have to watch my back more often. I suppose introductions are in order. The name's Keys, James Keys. Some people call me Jim, other people call me Jimmy. And one guy calls me Jimmy Jong, but I hate that name. So don't call me that, seriously. It's stupid and it doesn't make any sense. I'm Scottish-Irish. I grew up in the 80s off the coast of Lake Whatcha-Up-To in Southern California. A lot of people ask me why I moved from a nice area like SoCal to an Illinois city that only sees sunshine twice a year. Well, I followed a dame. First to the country, then to the city. It didn't take long for that to go fuck up. But by that time, I was already in law enforcement. That's right, I was a cop. A flatfoot. A boy in blue. A Johnny Law. I thought it was my calling until the incident, but we won't delve into that just yet. Anyways, the dame and I split. For some reason, I never went back to Cali. I made a life for myself here. After the incident, my departure from the BHPD, my split from the girl, my deep depression, my self-loathing, and a few visits with the shrink, I took up something new. I decided to be a PI. Being your own boss is the best damn thing in the world. If I had to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, it'd be a straight 10. Watching the sunset with an old-fashioned in my hand is a 9. Jessica Alba's an 8. That chili dog I ate last week is a 6. The point is, I wouldn't do anything else. I was born to be a PI, and that's who I am. It would be nice if something exciting happened for a change, though. I've had my fill of cheating husbands and missing children. I want something new. I want to make a difference in this city.
Good morning, Mr. K. How you doing today?
Oh, and the headache begins. Edith Dietrich was my secretary and has been ever since I started this business. She has the voice of Judy Holliday in the mouth of a sailor, but she was good at what she did. I'm good. How are you today, Edith?
I'm fucking awful. My cat kept me up all last night. He was shitting all over the walls. I think he ate a bird or something, because there were shitty feathers everywhere. I could fucking kill him. I told him not to eat no goddamn birds.
Edith, language. Mrs. Banks is supposed to arrive at any minute.
She's already here. She's in your office.
In my office?
Don't worry, I told her not to touch nothing. Told her if she messes with anything in here, I'd cut her fucking head off.
Edith, could you stop telling people that you're going to cut their heads off?
But I don't like him, Mr. K.
Good morning, Mrs. Banks.
I don't fucking like you.
Did she just say she doesn't like me?
She doesn't like many people, especially women.
She have a little crush?
No, she just protects me. Anyways, Mrs. Banks, I have your folder here.
There's a folder?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So it's true. My husband's, he's
a two-timing bastard, yes. I wouldn't look at the pictures if I were you. You're only going to see two things: 9-inch stiletto heels and a banquet of unrequited love.
I don't understand.
Well, men will be men.
No, that's not what I meant.
Listen, you need to get away from it all. Let's face it, we both know how this is going to turn out.
I didn't know.
Why don't you take a vacation? Go somewhere sunny. Someplace where the air is thick with dew and laughter. Go to Florida. Hit up Disney World. Buy some cotton candy and ride Space Mountain. Actually, you've already been on a roller coaster. A roller coaster of emotion. Maybe you should skip Space Mountain and try the teacups. You spin around really fast.
You think that'll help?
It's better than staying here.
Mr. Keys. Mr. James Keys.
Who are you?
I tried to stop him, Mr. K. He's quicker than my fucking cat.
I need to talk to you. It's urgent.
Urgent, you say? When I heard him say this, my body tingled. I was looking for excitement, and this may be what I needed. I had to hear what he had to say. Okay, one moment, Mr.
O'Reilly. Terrence O'Reilly.
O'Reilly. I rushed Mrs. Banks and Edith out of my office, closed the blinds, and turned on the ceiling fan. The shadows of the blades glided over me in a slow, rhythmic motion. I swear this guy better have something good. All right, Mr. O'Reilly, what do you got for me?
Trouble.
Trouble?
Big trouble.
How big?
The biggest trouble you've ever seen.
I don't know, I've seen pretty big trouble.
Well, this is elephant-sized trouble.
Elephant-sized trouble, you say? That's pretty big trouble.
I know.
What are we talking about here, theft?
Ha! This isn't about theft.
Murder?
Now you're on the right track.
Murder, you say?
I didn't say anything. Not yet, anyways.
Well, why don't you have a seat and fill me in?
Well?
A tall, lanky, red-headed man took a seat across from my desk. He instantly launched into a story about love, loss, and survival. He was so emphatic he jumped up and acted the whole story out using different voices and flamboyant hand gestures.
Parker.
I was so enthralled with his storytelling that I ordered Edith to bring me some popcorn.
Crashing kittens. Dogs were humping fire hydrants.
Here's your popcorn, Mr. K.
Thank you, Edith. Continue, Mr. O'Reilly. He continued with his story. Revenge and attempted suicide peppered his reenactment. A car crash and a fistfight. He jumped up on the couch and wrestled with a pillow. At one moment, a tear came to my eye. I felt like I was an Ewok listening to the god C-3PO.
And that was it. The end.
Wait, that was quite a story, but where's the murder? Where does that come into play?
Everything I told you just now led up to the murder, which happened last Tuesday. My father was found dead in a bathtub filled with gold coins.
Like Scrooge McDuck.
Exactly like Scrooge McDuck. Except my father, Frank O'Reilly, had a bullet in his head. At first, the police thought suicide, but that was quickly ruled out. I told them my father would never commit suicide.
Basically, it's murder.
The police then arrested my father's business partner, Desmond Grant. This happened yesterday, but I tell you, it wasn't Grant. I've known him my entire life. He would never betray my father.
So do you have any hunches?
A few.
This is quite the case. I'm not usually into this type of work.
He told me you were the best.
He?
Your friend from the force. Paul Went.
Paul Went. It had been a while since I talked to that loudmouth bastard that I call a chum. Paul was the guy who helped me during my dramatic depression stage. We worked together in the force for 3 years before my unexpected departure. When the she-devil left me, Paul took me out partying and chasing tail. He may be a married guy now with 2 kids, but he's the same old Paul. I thought I might give him a visit. He could help me out with this case. Because I already decided I would take this case on. I would help this great storyteller find out who murdered his billionaire father. I arrived at Paul's house around 1:30 in the afternoon. Dark gray clouds hung over the sky like wet terry cloths to a man's genitals. The air was thick with the scent of oak and red Play-Doh. What a tiny dog. Oh, that's a squirrel. Jesus. I reached the house just as Paul was walking out. He wore a charcoal suit and navy blue necktie. He instantly spotted me from his stoop.
Jim? Jimmy Jong, is that you?
Oh, God.
How you doing, man? You coming to visit me today?
I needed to talk to you about a case.
Yeah. I know what this is all about. How'd you know I'd be home? It's Friday.
I called the office.
Ha! Calling the office. Same old Jimmy Jong.
Okay.
You know what that means, don't you?
I don't have to, do I, Paul?
Come on, ask me what it means.
What's it mean, Paul? I don't know. Come on, just tell me. What the fuck?
It means I have a fucking 3-day weekend.
Okay.
Man, I get 3-day weekends all the time. You never get 3-day weekends, right?
Man, I get 3-day weekends all the time. You never get 3-day weekends, right? Right? When do you get 3-day weekend? I usually work through the week.
That's right, you do. You never get 3-day weekends. Remember that time you were in the force and you and I wanted a 3-day weekend, but you didn't get it and then I did? That was fun.
That's right, you do. You never get 3-day weekends. Remember that time? Listen, Paul, I really need to talk to you about this case.
Now?
Is now a bad time?
Well, Hope family's going to Donegan's for lunch, but you're welcome to join.
No, I won't intrude.
Nah, it's no problem. Let me just tell the wife. She's getting the kids. Lorraine! Lorraine!
Oh, God.
Lorraine!
Yes, honey.
Jimmy John's coming to eat with us.
Who?
Jimmy John, you know, Jimmy John.
I don't know what you're saying.
It's just Jim.
Jimmy.
Jim. Jim Keys?
Yeah, I know. Jimmy John Keys.
Never understood why Paul called me Jimmy John. It came out of nowhere and it stuck. Even for all his annoyances, though, he was still a friend. A friend who still worked at the Brentwood Heights Police Department. The good old BHPD. Paul was a big, hairy man, but not the normal type of big man. He was a rotund, he was amorphous. Layers of fat seemed to ooze out of different parts of his body. Lorraine, on the other hand, was a very pretty, petite young lady. She was so small she could fit in someone's pocket. I know that may seem like a saying, but it's quite true. Paul had big, large pants pockets and used to carry around Lorraine and the kids in the other. I've seen it happen. The kids were two. Twins. One boy and one girl. The drive to Dunnigan's allowed me to witness what people referred to as the terrible twos. God, kids were horrible. The whole ride they were giving me gut shots in the back seat. I knew I should have called for a window seat. We entered the restaurant at 2. Paul slipped the hostess a 20 in an effort to get us a quick table. He didn't need to do it. There were plenty of tables open, but I think he did it so he could have some physical contact with the hostess, who was a young 20-something brunette with a thin figure and large breasts. Paul was a sucker for women. Actually, some considered him a tad sexist.
Here's your table. Someone will be over in just a second to take your drink orders.
Good God, did you see the rack on that one?
Paul, your wife.
Oh, she doesn't care.
I don't mind.
Mind? Care. I said care. She never listens.
Sorry, dear.
Whatever.
Hey there, my name's Rebecca. Would you like something to drink?
Yeah, I'll have a vodka tonic. Jimmy John here. I'll have the same, and water for the rest.
All right.
Jesus, check out her ass. That thing is plump. What do they feed the girls here? Honey, we have to come here more often.
Oh, you with your eye candy. You know, Jim, we celebrated our anniversary at Hooters last week.
Hell yeah, we did.
How long's it been?
Who knows?
3 years.
Y'all know what you want?
Not yet. We need another minute. To look at your ass. Damn, that thing is perfect. I want her on me. I would wear her as a hat. Seriously, Jimmy John, I would wear her ass as a hat.
That's a really weird thing to say, Paul.
And I wouldn't say that about just anybody. I wouldn't wear Lorraine's ass as a hat.
No, he wouldn't.
And you want me to.
It would be nice.
Okay.
Jimmy John, that waitress could fart on my head. I wouldn't care.
It's true.
I would not let Lorraine fart on my head.
Nope.
That's why I don't wear Lorraine's ass as a hat.
Okay.
Everything going all right? Need some refills over here?
Yes, please. After the asshat conversation, we all ordered. The food was delivered quickly, and when Paul took the last bite of his chicken sandwich, I knew it was time to bring up the case. So, about this case, Paul, I was...
Did the O'Reilly fella call?
No. He came to my office.
And
he told me you guys have the wrong man.
Yep, that's why I sent him to you. It's out of my control, but that Grant fella is behind bars.
How's it looking with the evidence?
Looks good enough to keep him behind bars.
Do you think this guy's honest?
O'Reilly? It's a hard call. Did he tell you everything?
Yeah, and in a very dramatic way, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, about that. He'd jump in his chair, waving his arms around like a little froggy.
Twice.
A man knows how to tell a story.
Honey, is this the man I saw on TV?
Duh. There's one thing, Jimmy John, be careful. Everything may not appear to be on the level.
Not on the level.
Like the entire O'Reilly family?
He just wants to find the culprit behind his father's death.
Possibly. But the fact that Grant is behind bars also spells bad business.
How so?
How's everything going?
We're good. Damn, I'll never get tired of watching her walk off. I want to call her back over here just so I can send her away again. I want to bounce coins off that touch like ping!
Oh, honey.
Just be careful. The family consists of a bunch of billionaires and their billion-dollar companies in the process of a merger. With Daddy O'Reilly dead, it falls on Sonny and this Grant fella. Grant being in jail can spell trouble for business.
This is definitely more than meets the eye.
No, there's no truck robots.
What?
Listen, I'll pull some strings and get you some information about the case, and I'll fax it over first thing after my 3-day weekend.
I don't use that kind of shit, Paul. Listen, no, I've never had a fax machine.
You really should get more acquainted with technology, Jimmy John.
I don't have a fax machine.
But I'll just hand-deliver the information like some squeaky clean fifth of paper boy. That work?
I don't use fax machines, Paul. I've never used a fax machine.
Honey, you may want to talk to your son. He won't eat his carrots.
Ronald, eat your carrots, okay?
But Daddy, I don't like eating carrots. They taste bad and make my tummy hurt.
What the... Why does your son have an English accent?
We don't know.
Lunch lasted longer than I wanted, but at least I got the information I needed. But I also need some time to think before I return to the office. So I decided to do some laps around the building. By my third time around, I figured out what I would do next.
Mr. K, you got some calls. I left the messages on your desk.
Oh, thank you, Edith. Anything from an O'Reilly?
No, Mr. K.
All right, thank you. It was 4:30, time to go home. But I needed to call Terrence and set up a meeting with him and his immediate family. As I picked up the phone, I noticed the message that Edith had left. A name stuck out. Angela Diamond. But why did that name sound familiar? I pondered for a moment. Next to her name, 4:30 p.m. Edith, what's this message?
I told her not to fucking show up. That you like to leave precisely at 5.
At the top of the staircase stood a tall blonde woman in a silk gown and high heels, a cigarette holder between her lips, the stub of the cigarette burning at the end.
I hope you don't mind. I smoke.
No. But why are you standing by the stairs? We have 2 chairs right here.
I felt it better to stay out of harm's way. Your secretary told me she'd cut my fucking head off. She's sharpening an axe as we speak.
Edith! Thought I told you to take that axe home.
I plumb forgot.
Come in, Miss Diamond.
That's correct. Nice pictures. Where were they taken?
Costa Rica. I used to go down there with my dad. That's his boat.
Do you fish?
Only when I catch something.
I see.
Well, Miss Diamond, I must inform you that I've recently taken on a case that will take up most of my time for the coming weeks.
So I don't understand. You don't even want to hear my story?
I'm pretty sure I already know it.
Care to enlighten me?
Well, I can tell from what you're wearing that you're not from around here. Not initially, anyways. Recently moved, perhaps. The dress tells me you have money, or maybe it's your husband's. I noticed the ring. The lipstick on your cigarette holder is different shades, which means not only have you not cleaned it recently, but you've most likely been using it nonstop. Your voice isn't raspy, though, so that tells me you're not a chain smoker. So something's worrying you. Maybe your husband, perhaps? Let me guess. You believe he's cheating. You come to me while he's working. The whole thing continues to upset you, hence the little smudge on your mascara there. Slight, but still noticeable. Also, your favorite color is blue.
Well, aren't we astute?
I'm a what?
So you can't even help me.
I'm sorry. It would be a disservice to us both. I can refer you to another, perhaps?
No, I wanted you. But I understand. You're a busy man. With that, I shall depart. Good afternoon, James.
Yeah, keep fucking walking, sister.
As she walked off down the stairs, I tried to place that face. I couldn't. She obviously knew me, but how? Frustrating. But I had other things to worry about. I put the list of messages in my drawer, locked in the office, walked Edith to the cab, and headed home. I would call Terrence O'Reilly first thing in the morning. I pondered the day's events. I wanted a change. I wanted excitement. Hopefully I get it with this case. Some told me to find excitement elsewhere. I guess I could move. Costa Rica is always an option. What was that? I turned around to see an old fogey trying to make a three-point turn in the middle of the street. She wasn't doing well. Classic. I decided to take in the cool night air and the free show by sitting on a nearby bench. I pulled out my popcorn, leftovers from the O'Reilly play, and watched the old fogies cause a traffic jam.
Get your goddamn driver's license in a bracket jack box? Get the fuck out of the way.
Hey, fuck you, pal. Where'd you get your license?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Get the fuck out of the road, please.
Mr. Keys?
What was that? I turned around.
Don't. I've got a gun pointed right at your back.
Who are you?
I'm gonna need you to get up and put the popcorn down. That's right. Don't try any funny business with that popcorn. Just set it down. Good. Now turn to your left and head for that red building. Slowly.
What's in the red building?
Oh, you'll see soon enough.
Boy, oh boy. 1 minute James Keys is complaining about his boring life and the mundane job, and the next minute he's got a gun pointed at his back. Quite the pickle, I'd say. Who is this mysterious man? What does he want with James Keys? There's only one way to find out. Tune in next week and see, well, I mean here, what happens to the best PI this side of the Mississippi.
Dopple Avenue Hurt. Written by Robert M. Lamb. Edited by Jonathan Moss. Starring Kyle Appleyard, Anita LaRose, Amy Laurie, Jose Carabello, Dan Johnson, Jonathan Moss, Adam Jetmore, Amber Simpson, and Shannon McCarthy, with featuring voices by Robert M. Lamb, John Lazovoff, Nick Engelhard, Justin Stewart, Mike and Heather Linhart, Jesse Levine, Nicole Green, Shannon Lee, and Michelle Birmingham. Visit www.sharkdropper.com to hear our other podcasts. Horror Play, the search for the scariest video game ever made. Word of the Bay, a Tampa Bay-based sports podcast. And the Shark Dropper podcast, where we talk random stuff with a mixture of improv. Also, we have an upcoming Academy Awards podcast titled Snubbed, where we rate each year's Best Motion Picture nominees.